Welcome to Smashing Success Stories. I am your host, Karen. I'm a speaker, trainer, and consultant. This podcast is meant to inspire people who want results without compromising who they are. This is for folks that want to stay true to themselves while living in a world that challenges our humanity. So welcome, humans, champions, legends, to Smashing Success Stories. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad we're doing this together. Let's get started. Hey, I am joined by my friend Meg Perry. Meg, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. It's so funny because we know each other. We go back a while. So I was still nervous asking you to come on.
No.
Yeah,
It's
so
great.
super
This is
cool.
great. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so little background on Meg. She is an author and a very cool person, and I don't want to steal her thunder, so as we go into the conversation, I'll let her kind of reveal more, but just a quick overview. I know Meg through the author and academic community, and we've been friends for, over 10 years now. And get the opportunity to talk regularly, visit whenever our paths cross when I'm in your neck of the woods. So definitely a thriving friendship, and definitely excited to have you here and always glad to see you. So Meg is an author, and she is an expert in LGBTQIA mystery. She is very prolific. It's 43 novels in the series, or
41.
in your 41. Yeah, that's incredible. And this Jamie Brody has been out there since 2012, correct?
2012. Yes, that's when the first
Awesome.
one came out. Yeah.
Perfect. One of many reasons I wanted to get you on the program and share your insight is your intent after making the move from your most recent career, which was a awesome career. You'd been in it for, what was it, 2 decades?
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
so cool. And a career before that. We won't get into that, but it definitely lended a lot of really good insight into, writing the mysteries and having a lot of expertise there. So what I really appreciated when we started talking about your intentions as an author is when you were ready to make that shift out of that last career. And well, this is the focus, and enjoying your time of leisure is that, as with when you were working, you had shared with me that this is something that, yeah, you do it professionally, but there's not too much of an expectation on output, volume, production. You do it because you want to do it, and the money's a nice benefit of it, but it's not the focus. So let's
Exactly.
start
Yeah.
there.
Well, and I think that's a lot of people think, they're going to write a book and make a whole lot of money. And the amount of people that actually make a living writing is very small percentage of the people that are out there writing. Um, I read a statistic somewhere that half of published authors make less than $5,000 a year, and I do
Wow.
better than that. So not a lot
Nice.
better, but better. So I'm pretty pleased, but I didn't start writing to make money or to try to get published. I self-publish, and I do that so that A, I have control, and B, it doesn't take as long.
Mm-hmm.
But I started because I wanted to read stories about a librarian who helped the police solve crimes using research, because academics, librarians have this massive amount of information at their fingertips that nobody else really has access to. And I just thought that would be a cool idea. There wasn't anything else out there like that. And so I wrote the books that I wanted to read. I've always loved mysteries, and this just seemed like a very natural thing. My first one was about academic plagiarism and a
Oh,
murder that happens because of that.
yeah.
And, those people take things very seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
But so it just sort of grew out of that, and the characters have developed over time. They age in real time. So
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Brody, who's I guess you'd call him the main character,
Mm-hmm.
he was 32 when I started. He's 46 now.
Yeah.
And, with the books come the changes in people's lives as they age and grow and their life circumstances become different. And people, a lot of my readers tell me that, they enjoy the mysteries, but they really read the books because they want to know what's happening with the characters. And that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's got to feel so good to be like, yeah, this character is mine. And yeah, plot is definitely going to be something that's part of progressive storytelling, but
Yeah.
people keep coming back because of the character.
Yes. Yes.
That's so important because plots
Yeah.
change, things change. You write in
Yeah.
contemporary times. So
Yeah.
that is something that is immutable, but people sticking around because they like the character. That's a testament to your character building, your world building. And as somebody who reads the novels, I mean, who doesn't love being inside of Jamie's head? He's so much fun.
Ja- Jamie is a character, yes,
He
and
is.
he's come into his own more as the series. What's the plural of series? I guess it's still series is. You wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Series series. I don't know.
Anthology. We can say
You know what I
anthology.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Anyway,
All them books.
all them books. Yeah, all 41 of them books. Yeah, he wasn't in a great place personally when the books started, and now he really is. So yeah, that growth has been fun to watch and to write. I mean, it it sounds crazy,
Mhm.
but other writers say this too. It's like sometimes I'm just a conduit for the characters
Mhm.
coming from my head and falling out of my fingers onto the keyboard,
Yeah.
and I don't know where it comes from. It just and those scenes that I write fully formed that come to me like that usually turn out to be the ones that I don't have to change at all.
Oh, that's the best. Just
Yeah,
letting
but it's
inspiration
crazy.
speak and then just channeling it and sharing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and I obviously I know my characters well after all this time, but I'm still always surprised when that happens,
Hmm.
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had the good fortune of knowing where Jamie came from. Would you
Mm.
share that with our listeners?
Um, you mean how the character developed,
How he
or
showed up in your life when he
oh, how he
started
showed
speaking
up?
to you. Yeah, just
Yeah,
you
he
as somebody who's not of a very similar, or I should say you as somebody who doesn't have as much in common with Jamie, but being able to write him so well. So like
yeah.
how did he come to you and how did that all start?
The funny thing about that is that the very first character I had was actually Kevin, who, for your listeners, is Kevin Brody is Jamie's brother.
Yeah.
And every good amateur sleuth needs a police friend or relative, and Kevin was Jamie's police relative.
Yeah.
And but Jamie just really sprang out fully formed almost. Um, because one day I was hanging out at the reference desk with my work brother, Dustin,
Yeah.
um, talking about this idea. And like the next day, I said, well, here's the guy who's going to be the librarian.
Mhm.
And Dustin is like, well, how did this happen? I said, he showed up
Uh-huh.
and started talking
Mhm.
and told me he was gay. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
And um, told me that he was somebody who meant to be a historian, but because of a bad relationship, that got derailed. And now he's a librarian and he's doing this and that. And he really did. I didn't have to think a whole lot about his development,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. Um, he's not me, but he certainly thinks a lot of the thoughts that I think about things.
Yeah.
So it's of my voice comes out. I think more of my voice comes out in his character than any of the other characters. Let's put it that way. Except for
Yeah.
maybe Kristen, who is Jamie's
Oh, she's
sister-in-law.
so much fun. Peas in
Yeah,
a pod. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, other characters have sort of come along as Jamie has needed them to appear.
Yeah.
But yeah, and his backstory was all there. I didn't have to strain too hard to come up with any of that
Hmm.
about, his dad or his formative years or any of that. It really was like it was. I'm not sure I believe in things happening for a reason, but it was really like it was meant to be. Like his character was meant to be out there in the
Yeah.
universe for people to enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's worked out.
I really appreciate what you said about not knowing if things happen for a reason, because I have a very strong opinion about that.
Yeah.
I feel that they don't,
Mm,
but we are surrounded by inspiration. And whether it's confirmation bias or our radar or just us being the recipient of that message because you were willing and you
mm.
were listening and interested and it was something that aligned with you, it was like, well, you're the clear choice to bring these stories into fruition. So, yeah, that's my
Yeah.
take on it.
And there's no way I could have written these 20 years ago. I was not that person. I wished I was,
Yeah.
you know, but my creativity was stifled a bit
Hmm.
when I was in that first half of my career path.
Sure. Oh,
And it
gosh.
wasn't until I got into academia really that I was able to start letting the thoughts flow.
Oh, gosh. Working in academia, it has its challenges. I mean,
It
of
does.
course, and the
It
politics
does.
and the bullshit's a
Yeah.
big part of it. But
Yeah.
what an incredible garden for ideas to flourish and grow.
Yes. 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 I mean, there for a while, I was meeting every week with a group of other
Hmm.
faculty who were writing novels. We were
Yeah.
all writing fiction, and it was so much fun
Yeah.
to talk to everybody and bounce ideas off of everybody, and everybody gets to know everybody else's characters, and, well, would he do this or would he do that, and that kind of thing. And boy, I couldn't have done it without that group starting
Yeah.
out. I would never have gotten the first one off the ground without that bunch of people.
Y'all have been meeting regularly for what it's been at least 10 years, right?
Oh, it's been longer than that. When did we start? I guess it was 2010,
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
maybe 2012.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we started. Yes, we started about the same time I
Yeah.
started writing, and a couple of other people were starting writing at the same time, and so we all just kind of came together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it started in 2012. Yeah,
And how
yeah,
cool to have a group to bounce ideas from, to have your work
yes,
vetted, to be like, I have this idea, I know what it is, I'm not sure how it's going to get there, and like have really smart people who like and respect you sharing your insight.
yeah, yeah, and I I I think because none of them were mystery writers, also
Mhm.
they could have bring just different spit that word out, perspectives
Sure.
on plot ideas and character ideas,
Yeah.
and there was probably, I think, 8 people in the group. And between all of them, they had an enormous wealth of knowledge about all kinds of different things. And I
Yeah.
could ask, well, okay, if you do this, what happens? And somebody would say, oh, no, 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 you can't do that. You would have to do this.
Right.
And yeah, it was just the perfect way for a newbie writer to get started. I I still love all those people.
Oh, and
Well,
they're just the coolest group of folks
they
too.
really are.
Like,
They really
y'all,
are.
I'm saying this as somebody who has like kind of like proximal. Some of them I know, but some
Mm,
of them are kind of like we know each other through Meg or through some mutual friends. And the variety of insight, you've got you, the LGBTQIA mystery writer, you've got sci-fi, you've
mhm,
got history slash kind of
mhm,
mind warp type stuff, just
mhm.
English lit. Like, what a cool combination of people.
We had superheroes, we had
Nice.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Gosh, yeah. And getting that perspective, it's incredible. And what I really appreciate about you and your group is from the jump, every single, well, academics vehemently opposed to generative AI.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh.
And your covers are phenomenal because they're human created by
Yes,
somebody who knows how to make graphic arts.
absolutely. Yes,
They're
yes.
clean, they're to the point, and they're intriguing without giving the plot away, but you get a taste of what you're about to read.
Yes, and there's no way that AI could generate a cover like that. Besides,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna get an AI generated cover, the AI is gonna have to know what the book is about, and I'm gonna have to feed some of the book into it, and then the AI has my writing, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually part of a class action suit against Anthropic, I think that's how you say it,
Get
who
it?
stole a bunch of copyrighted works,
Yeah.
including mine, and fed them into their AI. Now they claim that they are deleting all of that.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just waiting to see how much they're going to pay me for stealing the first 10 of my books. And here's another problem that writers are having right now. People are using AI to write trash books. It's
Right.
the biggest problem is in the romance genre,
My
and they're flooding
gosh.
Amazon with it. They're flooding Amazon with it.
How ironic that romance, which is something that's predicated on consent and
Yeah,
respect and
yeah,
mutual values and understanding, is being mass
yeah,
produced
yeah,
using artificial means. And not to
yeah.
go on an AI tangent, I have another conversation that will be aired on this program where another artist creator, we do have the conversation with AI, and she has some really cool perspective on it as well. And I was like, you know what? Let's this cook, because she also has some insight working with folks that are in the industry. And I was like, I want to remain open minded because I definitely do see the value of AI when it can be leveraged well. I do not believe that generative AI is something that we need or that
No,
most people want. And the people that want it really should be focusing their efforts on things that are of more interest to them and could be of more value to society without being destructive.
exactly. Yeah. AI is great for certain
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
It's great at reading chest x-rays. I was reading an article
Yes.
about this. It
Hmm.
picks up early cancers better than any radiologist can.
Yeah.
It's great at searching for exoplanets. I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about this once.
Oh, that's cool.
It's it that you can set it to run 24/7 looking for these things that
Hmm.
it's better at picking out from the background than humans are, and B, it can work longer than humans are. So it certainly has its
Hmm.
place,
Hmm.
but generative AI is a real problem, and we're going to have to figure out how to deal with it.
What's wild is that AI can be used in a way without us using the water, the resources, and the data center.
Yes.
The YouTuber that you sent me to, the music guy,
Hmm.
he did a special where and I'll link this video in the show notes as well. It's Rick Beato. He had a conversation about AI where he is, as a producer, as a musician, of course he's going to have some very strong feelings about it, but he also wanted to do something that discussed the benefits of it. And he downloaded a local AI which took up very little space on his computer. And he did something like look for a recipe where it gave him awesome results. And the best thing about that is it's not using the same kind of generative stuff that like image and video generators and so forth. It's it's wild. And to say that there's value in generative AI, I mean, we know, of course, the corporations, they're glad to let people use it because it's something that generates revenue for them, where
Sure.
there's only profit for them. And it's people that are getting harmed. And I think we as a community are getting better about recognizing the need for human created works. Like, have you seen these articles where people had their jobs outsourced by AI and they're being called back because the work is shit?
Yes. Yes.
So like there's a way to use it and there's a way to use it well and there's a
Yeah.
way that it's being used incorrectly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with the internet, like the internet was meant to connect us and it turned out to be something that caused a lot of division, and now that we have access to all this information, people aren't thinking as critically,
Right.
and we're also having communication issues
Yeah.
because of it being used to
Yeah.
excess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything being used to excess
Is
is
yeah,
going to be dangerous.
not going to be good. Yeah.
I did want to ask you something about a conversation that we had when it was just you and I. And I love your insight when it comes to police work. And I've said it in another conversation. I'll say it here as well. I have very strong feelings about the police in general.
Sure.
And I would love to see the serve and protect be the ultimate agenda and those words being something that's being placed into practice. What I love and appreciate about your work is that you have good cops that know their shit and you show us the process of them doing things, and they also happen to be interesting characters. And I see interesting because some of them are very good at their job and then we have a couple knuckleheads. And I appreciate that we get to see the variety and also the growth and repercussions for when things are not done well. And your research comes from your expertise and your incredible ability to be able to do that kind of fastidious research where you Google map something and you know what these houses look like on these specific streets and it makes it authentic and real. But what I wanted to ask you about is our conversation about two things. One, your experience by having, and we don't have to talk about the precinct, but your experience in having in person opportunities to actually see what some really good police forces are doing well to serve the communities.
Mm.
Two, if you could bring up what the ultimate goal of police and law enforcement is. And three, the problem that we're seeing with new candidates now, especially when it comes to communication.
Yeah, that was so interesting when I learned this. My city, like many,
Mm-hmm.
has a Citizens Police Academy, they call
Mm-hmm.
it. And it was a program that our police department ran where you met with them once a week in the evening for, I think it ran for 8 or 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And each evening was a different topic. Like one night we did canines, and one night we went to the shooting range,
Yeah.
and one night we talked about the medical examiner came in,
Mm-hmm.
and we talked about homicide um, investigations. And then one night was training. Their topic was training, and they talk about here. The way they do it is the candidates start out in the police academy, which is at our local college.
Mm-hmm.
Then they, once they graduate and pass all their exams, then they end up with a training partner in a police car.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that for at least 6 months, maybe longer. I can't remember exactly what
Yeah.
they said about that. And then they go through a lot of simulation training at the department. And the last thing they do before they turn them out in their own car on the street is they sit down and they have a 2-hour conversation with them. And that's the make or break
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Yeah.
And the trainer who was telling us this said, if they can't talk to us
Mm-hmm.
freely about a variety of topics for 2 hours, there is no way that they're going to be able to talk down someone who's in a bad situation on the street.
Yeah.
And this has been a while, so this was right after the shooting in Ferguson, Missouri happened.
Yeah.
And he used that as an example. He said that kid was, meaning the cop, was 21 years old.
Yeah.
And he said, I bet nobody ever sat down with him for a 2-hour conversation on how to be a cop and
Right.
how to de-escalate these situations and how to talk to people
Hmm.
instead of just giving them commands. How to talk to people. And he said they're seeing more and more of a problem with it because as our later generations grow up, they are
Hmm.
communicating more and more electronically.
Yeah.
They text, they message, they don't talk. Hardly anybody that age, 21, etc.,
Yeah.
calls anybody on the phone anymore. They don't talk to people, especially face to face. They'll be texting somebody who's across the room.
Yeah.
And so they don't have these communication skills. And they are finding it harder to fill the slots at our police department because they won't hire them,
Sure.
but they can't find enough that can,
Yeah.
that do have these skills. So and I'm sure that if there are police departments who go through this same process, that they're finding the same problems. And then
Yeah.
these guys that our police department doesn't hire are going somewhere.
Right. Which is
They're getting
terrifying.
hired somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I've been through the academy. I've done this and this.
Right.
Here's my application. And they'll say, hey, you already know everything. Come on in.
Hmm.
So our police department is award winning. And I'm not sure about how all of that works, but um, they are recognized as one of the top departments in the country.
Yeah.
And uh, which is especially considering our population in this city is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Talk about a
And
variety. There's a lot of
yes,
traffic, there's a lot of events, and
yes,
the way they keep shit under control, it's
yeah,
it's something to be studied
yeah,
and shadowed and shared.
it really is exemplary.
Mhm.
It came in with a long ago chief
Yeah.
who set all this up.
Yeah.
And fortunately, the chiefs that have come along behind him have maintained that approach, and it works.
Yeah.
It works. And the reason that my books are set in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and God knows the LAPD has
Who
had its problems and
right.
still does. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that one of them shot that poor dog the other day. But
Oh my god,
oh,
yeah.
that was terrible, terrible.
Broke my
But
heart.
I've read a lot. I've read a lot about the LAPD,
Yeah.
and I don't really deal with patrol much. I deal with
Right.
homicide detectives because my
Right.
books are murder mysteries.
Yep.
And the LAPD that I try to depict is a kinder, gentler version. What the LAPD could be if they tried.
Yeah.
And, I don't fool myself that anybody from there is ever going to read it, but it wouldn't hurt them to do
Yeah,
that
no
and to
kidding.
see.
Yeah.
And what I can say about homicide detectives, what I've read, the true crime stuff that I've read from LA is once you get to the level of homicide detective, you do actually care about people because you don't get to that point if you don't.
I would hope not.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. And of course there are going to be bad apples in that bunch too,
Sure.
but there are far fewer, and the vast majority of them are really trying to do their best to bring these cases to justice.
Yeah.
And they're not the ones that are out in the street doing bad things to the populace. So
Right.
yeah, so I would my books are kind of an idealized version of how I wish the world worked.
That's the whole point of being an artist, right?
That's
To
right.
channel
That's right.
inspiration and to inspire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To interpret and then turn it into something else.
Yeah, and thank goodness for a good example of
Yes,
things.
yes.
Something that I've learned recently, I didn't even know this was a thing, was theory with no praxis. And I was like, what? And then I realized like why there's rage bait, what really quote sells, the type of things that go viral. And I'm like, I would rather not be popular and do the thing that I want to do than
Yes.
be a real fucking sensationalist piece of shit.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that you take these ideas and you do provide those solutions. And even in the rare instances where we, I don't want to spoil one of the stories, but where the criminal doesn't get caught,
Hmm.
or some of the ones that do get caught, it's still, there's some satisfaction there. But there's
Yeah.
also a lesson to be learned. And like in one of the young detectives' stories, this particular detective started out abysmally, was put under the wing of an exceptional detective, and now this person's learning. And one of the
Hmm.
most important lessons that she learned was sometimes they get away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's important lessons to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all cases are solved.
Yeah. How many of us have like a niece, nephew, or friends have kids that they're like, well, that's not fair. And the first time somebody learns that not everything balances out and isn't fair, as a Libra, that makes me cringe.
Yeah.
But that's life.
That's life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm aging myself here, but I was standing in line to get into a concert once,
Hmm.
and somebody was talking about people who had gotten there early and all that. I don't know. And it was back in the 70s,
Yeah.
and Jimmy Carter was known for saying this at one point, and I turned around and I said, "Well, as our president says, life is unfair." And the person fell out laughing.
Right.
But yeah, life is unfair. And um, if I guess my imagination tries to help um, sort out some of that in a fictional manner sometimes.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do have told me that they do use my books as comfort reads. They
Oh,
go
that's
back and will read
wonderful.
the whole series again
Yeah.
because they want to spend time
Hmm.
with these characters and in this universe where things do end up a little more fairly than they do in real life.
Yeah. Just as humans in general, and especially as a queer person, it's
Yeah.
nice to see queer people thriving
Yeah.
and doing well, and not in like some fairy fantasy way, in deserved
Yeah.
ways. None of
Yeah.
it stolen valor. Every single one of them
Right.
have absolutely deserved it. And even
Mhm.
your straight characters are interesting. They're really cool. Kevin and Kristen bring me so much joy. Hell yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And on that note of creativity, right? It's like this world, there's so many either uncertainties or things that objectively are bad. And we have a choice. We don't
Yeah.
have to succumb and surrender to the inevitable doom that surrounds us. We can actually do something about it. And it's those positive things that get us through. When 9/11 happened, my turn to age myself, I was in airline operations when it happened. And I'm
Mm.
from New York.
Mhm.
And that shit hit so freaking hard. 2 weeks, alls we did was watch TV, continue to see those planes hit the building, see
Yeah.
the smoke, the rescue workers, all that stuff, and just this constant, we see what has happened. What is going to be done?
Yeah.
And 2 weeks in, I was like, I need to laugh. And I popped an American Pie. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is about that dude screwing a pie and Eugene Levy walking in on him that made me laugh, but it just kind of like broke that spell I was under, and it made me realize that yeah, things are tough and they do suck, and I was working with an amazing team at the time at the airline and we got through, but also I can realize that this sucks, but I can also control some of those moments where I can react to things
Yes.
and see things with a more clearer lens. And it also helped me realize that fucking news corporations are totally complicit when it comes to spreading fear and hate mongering and fearful propaganda, which also lends to the situation that we're in right now, which is all the more reason why it's important to celebrate creativity, to
Yeah.
produce things that give folks that copium, whether it's a little bit of escapism to help recalibrate our brain chemistry or
Mhm.
just something to take our minds off of that thing. And the best part is we're doing it in a productive and intellectual way.
Yes.
Nobody's getting hurt by it.
No.
It's only for the sake of benefiting. You benefit
Yeah.
it from it by being creative and by sharing what Jamie and what your characters are speaking to you.
Mhm.
And we as the readers get to enjoy the benefit of, man, that was great. That was fun. There's so many Gen X characters. So you have that snark and the sarcasm, but in
Mhm.
a funny, non-shitty way. And
Yeah.
then the way that Jamie and Kevin pick on each other because they're brothers and they have such a good rapport. But here you have two cis white guys, one gay, one straight, and they have a really healthy relationship.
Yeah.
Their dad, a U.S. Marine, when Jamie came out, dad was there for him.
Yeah.
And the best part is that does happen in this world,
It
but we don't
does.
hear as much about it because
No.
what's shoved down our throats is all the negative shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I say keep doing what you're doing. You're doing awesome stuff.
Well, thank you.
I also loved Deep Faked to death.
Yeah.
Because you called that shit out.
Well,
Here's how I feel about generative AI.
exactly. Exactly. And that was an idea that came from somebody else. They said you should do something with a deep fake, but
Yeah.
then that plot unfolded really easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a bunch of YouTube about what can be done
Mm-hmm.
already with that, and it only gets better every day,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And the this particular book showed some of the consequences of what might happen.
Sure.
Just one person affected,
Right.
by that used his image used without permission for a
Mm-hmm.
deep fake, and the repercussions of that. So yeah, it's something near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ideal in our lifetime, we will see some legislation that provides us with more protection. And just like any technology that involves our personhood, sovereignty, identity, these things should be absolutely protected.
That is one place where Europe is so far more ahead of us because
Yeah.
um, they have that legislation. The EU has a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that legislation, and of course we don't because our government thinks that Europe can't do anything right.
Yeah.
But yeah, someday we'll get there, I think.
And it's wild as anybody who has lived in Europe can say how much farther ahead that they are. And it's the
Yeah,
people that have never been outside of the place they live that think we're doing things so much better. When you go
yeah,
outside, you actually get some perspective.
yeah, yeah,
Ron Swanson would roll over down a hill if he knew how much I loved living in France. I,
yeah,
I stand the French.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Marcon,
yeah,
king of snark, man. Oh,
yeah, yeah.
gosh.
Let's go to Versailles to sign this agreement.
Between him and Gojira
Oh my
performing at the
God.
Olympics, and I mean, I've
Yeah,
been a Simone Bayou fan forever, but
yeah, yeah.
oh gosh, so good. All right, awesome. So I am going to link your website and your books to read, Smashwords, Goodreads, so that folks know where to find your works.
Mhm.
I'll share your Insta and Threads account. Threads, just love it.
Oh, yeah.
Love being on Threads. All right, awesome. So I've got a couple questions.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a lightning round. I certainly don't care about pacing, and we still have about another 15 minutes or so. If we happen to go over a couple minutes, is that going to be okay, or do you have something else that
Oh,
you need
sure.
to jump
No,
to?
no,
All
I
right,
don't have anything
perfect,
else. Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
All right, so I love asking this question, partly because I'm always curious to see what people have to say, but I especially am interested in reactions to it. So, first question: what is a question that you have always wanted to be asked?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Um, I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
That's the most common answer I get. When I wrote the question, okay, so I'll share with you what I shared with somebody that I have recently interviewed. I just literally got done editing. You're next after that one airs, and she was like, I don't think of things that way. I said, well, let me kind of give a little bit of background into what inspired it. There were two celebrities. One was an actor, another one was an author that shared when people talk to them, they share how their work has affected the person and
Mhm.
me, blah, 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 blah. And they were just like, I wish people would ask me about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, let me try to pay it forward and like actually ask that question. So
You
I
know,
also have, go ahead.
that's funny because I think about that in terms of sports. Because after a win,
Yeah.
say, the reporters are always asking, how it feels, blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
I'm like, ask something original. How
Mm-hmm.
many times do these people have to answer, how does it feel? I don't
Yeah.
really care how it feels. Talk about how what you were thinking when you made that throw from the
Yes.
outfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the question. Yes, I
Yeah.
just don't have any idea what
Valid.
mine would
Did
be.
you have an opportunity to listen to or read Mondami's speech after the Knicks one?
No.
He talked about what the players were thinking because he talked to them.
Ah, I'll have to go
More
watch it.
of that energy.
Yeah.
Heather Cox Richardson wrote the entirety of the speech in her newsletter. I think it was a day or two after the next one. So you can always read her stuff,
Yes.
which, of course,
Yes.
big fan, big fan.
I try to
So
do every day. Yeah.
my follow up question, whenever I get that response, is all right, this is a free space. If you were to give a TED talk, what would your topic be?
Oh boy. I think that I would talk about algorithms.
Oh, I love that. Let's hear more. Let's go down this rabbit hole.
When I was in academia,
Yeah.
I often had the chance to teach students how to do research. I mean, that's one of the things that academic librarians do with their days is we teach students how to do research.
Yeah.
And one of the main things that you have to remember when you're Googling
Mm-hmm.
is that once you've started using Google,
Mm-hmm.
Google remembers
Mm-hmm.
everything you've ever searched.
Mm-hmm.
And you can erase your history, and that helps some, but somewhere in the bowels of Google, it remembers.
Mm-hmm.
And the algorithm is going to become custom built for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to show you what it thinks you want to see. This is how people end up in political bubbles
Mm-hmm.
because they are only fed what the algorithm thinks they want to see, which is things that already agree with them. But it's also important in social media
Mm-hmm.
because they all operate on algorithm and they, again, in your feed, give you what they think you want to see. And every
Right.
time you click like on something, it's going to give you more of that. And I've noticed it particularly lately because, full disclosure, I am a fan of heated rivalry. And
Nice.
I have not participated in any of the crazy stuff that the
Right.
fandom has gotten into.
Oh
Oh
man, because
my
those
God.
gosh, those
But
fans can be feral.
they are nuts. They're
Yeah,
nuts.
dude.
But but I see a lot of comments in my feed about controversies, but I don't see
Okay.
the actual controversies.
I see. Good. Yeah.
And I see other people say, what are you talking about? I
Right.
haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So there is a subsegment of us, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how I got there, but I'm glad I am, where we don't see
Oh, it's the best.
the stuff
Yeah.
that Hudson Williams is going through because people are racist. You know,
Right.
we're,
Right.
we're not seeing that. We're seeing people comment on it,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not seeing. And I'm like, wow, that is the algorithm has gotten a lot better because that is very specific, that the
Yeah.
algorithm knows that I want to know it's happening, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to actually see any of it.
Yeah.
And that is a little bit scary. And it's also important to know that AI is now behind the algorithms.
Yeah.
And so it's learning faster.
Right.
And it's you can you can if if I start like if I'm on Threads, for instance, and I
Yeah.
start liking things about cats, I'm going to see more and more cats. But then if I start liking stuff about hockey again,
Yeah.
I'm going to see more and more stuff about hockey.
Right.
So it changes very rapidly. It tries
Sure.
to keep up with you. It does a pretty good job
Yeah.
of keeping up with you, and it's getting better and better all the time. And we have already turned over so much of our information, and not just our personal data, but everything we've ever done online
Yeah.
is out there. They're all collecting it. People talk about getting off Google. We got to get off Google. We got to switch to another browser, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? It's too late because you've been on Google. The only
Right.
way to fight it, unless I'm now, I'm not an expert on this. I'm not a programmer. I may be saying things that aren't precisely true, but it's my understanding that the only way to really combat that would be to never have been on Google in the first place.
Sure.
And of course, we all were because at first it was
Right.
benign.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think people understand how algorithms affect everything we do. And it's not just when you're on your phone or your computer, it's
Right.
at the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
it's the ads you see.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make it so that everybody driving down the street will see a different ad on those
Yeah.
billboards that change because they'll be able to tell from your car that you're coming and they're going to show an ad that's targeted to you.
Yeah.
That's why we all see different ads on Facebook. That's why
Right.
we all have different experiences now.
Yeah.
And everything we do that involves the exchange of electronic information involves the algorithms. And I think people don't understand A, how they work, and B, how ubiquitous they are.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would do my TED talk
It's
about.
such an important conversation to have too, because anytime people get in, especially internet discourse, they're like, well, do some research, look it up. And they
Yeah,
have no idea how biased their quote research
exactly.
is. I
Exactly.
I was talking to a fellow member in the queer community, and she was like, what people don't understand about trans people is this. And I'm just like, why would somebody who's cisgender want to go down a rabbit hole and learn something about an area of life where they have so much privilege? Like, I
Yeah.
get your point. Trans lives matter.
Yeah.
People should normalize trans folks because, surprise, they're people. The trans community is so fucking vulnerable right now, and more
Yeah.
people need to understand they are fellow humans. You're not being hurt by trans people. You're being
No.
hurt by these fucking billionaires that are stealing your money and your identity and
Yeah.
causing this rift in our society so that they
Yeah.
could benefit from it, steal from us, and leave us in the dust. They don't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
Like, leave trans people alone, especially black trans women.
Yeah.
Put some
But you're
respect on
right.
black trans women.
If you want if you want to learn about them, you've got to go
Mhm.
looking for it.
Right.
And if you are somebody who, let's use vaccines as an example, if you're somebody who's already shown online that
Yeah.
you are somebody who is a vaccine skeptic, then when
Right.
you search for information about vaccines, you're going to
Yeah.
get more stuff to support your position.
Yeah, a
You're
bunch of
not
yoga
going to.
teachers and chiropractors who have YouTube channels are going to talk about the dangers of
Exactly,
vaccinations
exactly.
instead of actual medical doctors or
Yeah, but you're never
epidemiologists.
going to see the things that
Right.
challenge your beliefs because that's not how the algorithm works.
How would you feel about this? And this is what I told my friend when we were having this conversation about talking about normalizing trans existence in the
Mm,
United States. I said, if you're having these conversations with people and you really want to inspire change, send those people some resources.
yes.
Whether or not they actually follow through and read what you share with them is on them. But instead of discouraging somebody by telling them to do their own research, which will be harmful because of the way the algorithms are geared,
Hmm.
leverage your privilege with your algorithm and
Hmm.
provide them with those resources. Would you say
Hmm.
that's like a fair kind of antidote to this situation?
Absolutely. Yeah. You people really don't realize what what exists on the other side of their argument,
Mm-hmm.
and they also don't realize how much they are in the minority because that's all they see, and they
Mm-hmm.
see because that's all they see, they think everybody thinks the same way I do, and
Right.
they're shocked to find out that that's not the case. So
Right.
that's an excellent idea, is don't ask people to do research when you can realize that that's not going to end well because
Yeah.
of the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
Send them what you would like for them to read, and then hopefully they will
Mm-hmm.
follow up by asking them about what they thought about it, later,
Yeah.
see if they read it. And that's, yeah, that's a start to talk about things like that.
Yeah.
And so many times I've read stories about where people say, wow, I never thought about it that way. That's
Incredible. By
amazing.
actually connecting with a human being, we can find something where we can have a conversation to get started, and that
Yeah.
helps with the willingness.
Yeah.
It's incredible when we actually talk to people like humans. And I get the temptation to call people names and to
Yeah.
disrespect them. As much as I love threads, some people get so catty so quickly on
Yeah.
very little information
Yeah.
because it gives them feelings of importance and power and piety and superiority. And like,
Yeah.
I don't engage in those. And I've had to unfollow a bunch of people that I enjoyed their content, but I was seeing things I didn't want to see because they were replying to conversations
Mm,
and
mhm.
ratioing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I do love a mess and I do love drama, but I don't want to be in this cesspool of mess and drama.
Yeah.
So I have to unfollow the people that engage in that shit, even if
Yeah.
we're mutuals.
Mhm.
Like, clean up your fucking mess. Or
Yeah.
as Karen, who I interviewed, or that conversational air before this one, she talks about owning your real estate.
Mhm.
Keep your side of the street clean, control the
Yeah.
controllables,
Yeah.
control what you can.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are under this delusion that there are things that are within our control that are literally not. And
Oh,
changing
yeah.
hearts and minds doesn't happen the way that people think it's going to.
Right.
It
Right.
happens by buffering and connecting and having actual discourse. There was a
Yeah.
guy I used to follow that he was sitting next to somebody who was anti-Islam on an airplane, and of course he made really shitty racist comments about security and all that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
this was of course a few years after 9/11. So he actually sat with a guy and had a conversation. It was just like, well, why do you feel that way? Have you been personally affected by a member of the Muslim community and da 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 da? And by the end of the flight, the guy was like, you actually got me to start thinking about things a little bit differently. Thanks. And the thing that nobody wants to talk about is that people who have privilege are not going to be learning more and connecting more unless there's actually some kind of connection.
Right.
They're not going to go outside of their bubble and their comfort zone. They're living a life of privilege. Why would they want to step outside of that and be
Right.
uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Learning is uncomfortable. Changing our mindset is uncomfortable.
Hmm.
But when you do it, we actually find out that we are surrounded by people that we actually have a lot in common with. And
Yeah.
we may disagree with some things, but disagreeing about pineapple being on pizza, which as a New Yorker, I am vehemently opposed to, but I'm not going to lose friendships over it. When we
Right.
disagree about things like humanity
Yeah.
and treating people with some modicum of respect and human rights. These aren't political issues. These are differences of values. And
Yeah.
I don't fucks with them if they
Yeah.
can't see the basics.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I blame a lot of that on the Christianist approach to religion, too. I saw, this has been a long time ago, but there's a writer named Andrew Sullivan who
Mm-hmm.
was talking about the difference between Christianity and Christianism.
Ah, okay.
Whereas Christianism is what we're seeing now, that's
Mm-hmm.
connected to the government and
Yeah.
everybody wanting everybody to be the same. And
Right.
if you're not the same, you need to get out of our
Right.
Christian country. I remember I had a student once, years ago, who came in who um, had to write a paper. And I said, "What's your topic?" And she said, "I'm going to write about why America is a Christian country."
Okay.
And I said, "Well, that's going to be a problem because
Right.
America is not a Christian country. We have
Yeah.
this thing called the First Amendment, which guarantees freedom of religion."
Yeah.
I said, "Now you can write about why you think America should be a Christian country.
Yeah.
But if this is a paper that's supposed to be not an opinion piece, then you're going to have to
Right.
pick another topic."
Right.
And she was totally blown out of the water. She went away confused because she was going to have to think about another topic.
You taught
And
her something.
she thought she had her life all figured out for the next
Yeah.
2 weeks, and it wasn't going to work that way.
Imagine if she went into the research to be like, I came into this with a very specific, what I felt was a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 blah. That would be a
Mm-hmm.
compelling piece
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
if
Yeah.
she was willing to
If she
do
was willing to
the
do
learning and
that,
the
I'm
writing.
not sure she was. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, if her faith is strong enough, then that would only have solidified her personal belief system and also
Right.
help her understand that, hey, other people have other belief systems that they also feel as strongly about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever see her again?
No.
Oh, geez.
I, I, I mean, she was pretty generic. She was, a blonde white girl,
Always.
long straight hair. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup 5 minutes
Right.
after she left my office.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, you can usually tell the ones that are going to be successful and the ones that aren't. And I doubt that she got a degree out of that.
What are some of the qualities that you see in the folks that you have that you know are going to be successful?
They listen. They sit near the front of the room.
Mm-hmm.
They take notes.
Mm-hmm.
um, I think the listening is key. It comes back to that conversation about the police,
Right.
about hearing somebody else and being bright enough to engage with that content on a level of learning
Mm-hmm.
and not just dismissing it because they misinterpreted something you said, or
Right.
careful listening and engagement with somebody else's ideas
Right.
is is key.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be some sort of baseline of education for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you can't. Here's another story about a student, and I would recognize this one. She was in the library all the time. Nice girl, such a nice girl. But she came in at the end of the semester crying.
Yeah.
And I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "I just took my psychology final and I'm sure I failed."
Yeah.
I said, "Why?" She said, "I didn't know any of the answers to." She said,
Oh,
"You know what?"
geez.
She said, "I was homeschooled
Oh, bless.
for my whole life.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to study. I don't know how to read for comprehension. I don't know any of those things.
Yeah.
And I don't think college is going to work out for me." I said, "No, no, 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 talk to your advisor, do this, do that, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Don't give up, But, I'm not sure what became of her. But there is a certain baseline, and you can get it in homeschooling. You certainly can. I'm not knocking homeschooling at all,
Sure. Right.
but you have to have the right kind of homeschooling, just like you have to have the right kind of public school or private school
Yeah.
to actually learn how to listen and think critically about what you're hearing and engage with it in a manner that allows you and possibly also the person who's talking
Yeah.
to both learn. And what a
Incredible.
wonderful world it would be if we all did that.
Right. It's
Yeah.
funny. I have a friend who's an artist, and she is at odds with her mother quite often.
Mm.
And her mom would ask a question. She'd be like, "Oh, yeah, well, if you read this or if you do this," and her mom would just be like, "I don't read." She's like, "Well, I know, but if you do, you'll actually learn something." And then she goes, "Learning and reading gives me headaches." And then she goes, "Because the wrinkles on your brain are forming. It's going to be a growth process." It's hearing these things, and she brought up something that you and I had also talked about the whole concept of how so many people, and her perspective is the majority of people don't have interests and don't
Right,
have passion in life.
right.
And that blew my mind because you are an incredibly interesting person. You always have something to bring to a conversation. Fun, lively, serious, political, spiritual. You always have insight to share. And that's our network. Those are our friends. Those are
Yeah,
people that you surround yourself with. I know I have very interesting friends, and not everybody is going to be, intellectual or anything like that. I do have some fun time friends who I can also have a conversation with. And that
yeah.
just blew my mind. What's your perspective on that?
I've seen a little bit of that in my own family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's always like, but that's not how you raised me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, you wanted me to read.
Mm-hmm.
You let me read whatever I wanted from as young an age as I could. I think I was 10 when I first read To Kill a Mockingbird. No 10-year-old should probably be reading that, but I
Whoa!
read it. I read
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's
I,
incredible.
I we our house was full of books, and I was allowed
Yeah.
to read whatever I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how my mother actually was.
Yeah.
She was, and she was a college educated person, and she'd done some interesting things. She
Mm-hmm.
was a musician, um, but she became very anti-intellectual in her later life, which surprised me. And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
She was ranting about elites one day. I said, "Mom,
Sure.
I'm an elite. I'm
Yeah.
an elite. I have
Yeah.
an advanced degree in
Right.
something. I am an elite. You're just you're parroting what you've heard on the news." And she's like, "Oh no, well, blah 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 blah." But I was surprised and disappointed
Mm-hmm.
to hear her say those things, because that's not. If she had been like that when I was growing up, I wouldn't be the person I am,
Yeah.
which is so interesting to me. what made that turn? Were you always like that and just hid it because you didn't think that was good for your kids? I don't know. I don't know. And she's gone now. I can't ask her. But yeah, it was the most bizarre thing she ever said, and she said a lot of bizarre things over the years. But yeah, it's that it's that anti-intellectualism is concerning.
Mhm.
I mean, when did we stop wanting people to better themselves?
When the desire to control them became more compelling and when
I
people
guess
gave up
so.
their free will because they
I
felt it
guess
was
so.
easier. Remember that
Yeah.
scene in The Matrix where Cypher, the guy with the funny mustache, is sitting in the restaurant in The Matrix with Agent Smith?
Mm,
And he tells him he's going to get him the codes and da 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 da, and he wants to be replanted back into the Matrix because he knows what the real world is, and the truth is too strong,
yeah.
and he would rather be controlled.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if more people feel that it would be easier and less of a struggle to just surrender their free will and be controlled instead of actually face the discomfort. But also, I think a lot of people struggle with fitting in and validation and haven't given themselves permission to be authentic and to stand up against systems of oppression. And when we
Yeah.
talk about authenticity, we're not saying say whatever you want and fuck everybody else.
No, no,
We're
no, no.
saying how can I listen to my inner self, my trusted, authentic, spiritual, physical, intellectual, all of the things that comprise me as a human, who I know I truly am, and navigate this world, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And to have resilience against opinions and the pressure of society and what hat should I wear and as a whatever I need to act like this, and for us to be like, you know what, fuck those norms. We understand where those norms come from.
Yeah.
The one word for it is patriarchy. If we're getting really honest about it, we know that it has to do a lot with cis, white, Christian nationalist, fascist ideology. And these are all oppressive systems that are trying to program people into behaving a certain way. And ideally, people are going to realize that that program, those ideologies, these systems of control can easily be broken. And the best thing that we can do as individuals is to be ourselves and to not be controlled by them. Don't use fucking generative AI. Don't put in your banking information. Talk to a financial advisor. Look for an
Yeah.
investment group. Like,
But
listen to Susie Orman.
yeah. Yeah. I love her. Um, I also think that a lot of the control is done through fear.
Oh,
And
100%.
that started with Ronald Reagan and Rush Limbaugh.
Sure. Yeah.
But so it's
That's
been
when the
going
death
on
of
for
truth really began, when Rush
yes.
Limbaugh was not
Yes.
held accountable to journalism standards. And that's
No.
how we went from that
Yeah.
to the 2000 election to
Yeah.
what happened in Florida and
Yeah.
then where we fucking are
Yeah.
now.
But people are afraid.
Yeah.
These people that live in these tiny little white towns
Yeah.
are afraid that the other hordes are going to come in and invade and take over and put them under Sharia law and just do all these horrible things that they've been made to believe are out there lurking, just waiting to pounce on them.
Yeah.
When the truth is they couldn't be safer in bumfuck North Carolina
Right.
because nobody with any sense wants to go there, for one thing.
No.
There's a reason your population has been shrinking for 20 years. But I think people are really, really afraid of what they don't know and understand.
Hmm.
And the cuts to education haven't helped. And I mean, fewer people are going to church than ever have before.
Really?
Yes, yes. Church attendance
Wow.
has been dropping for years, years. So some of them are hearing it from the pulpit, but not all of them. Most of them
Sure.
are getting it from their favorite news channel. And they are being programmed to be afraid so they can be controlled.
I had lunch with a friend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, and 98% of the parishioners in her church, in which she held a leadership position, a big leadership position, 98% left.
Mm-hmm.
The pastor brought a very edgy figurehead who is no longer on this earth and talked about this person's ideologies to a majority Black church.
Oh boy.
And he is in Schitt's Creek and not the fun show version
Mm-hmm.
because those people were just like, absolutely not. And
Yeah.
they left. And
Yeah.
she had to find another fellowship. And another one of our mutual friends, a white person, also left because you don't harm your community like that.
Yeah.
And when things get ugly like that, and it's just like, what is the message? Like, if we're actually focusing on the message of hope and faith and love and connection and community, which, as far as I know, that's what's being preached, then like, what are we even doing?
People talk about putting the 10 Commandments everywhere. And I'm like, you know what you ought to put everywhere is the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
Blessed are the meek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for they shall see God.
Yeah,
Not you with your $1 trillion.
yeah.
Meek. Yeah.
And when I say that's such a good idea, I mean promoting that particular message.
Yeah.
I find that people who gravitate toward Christian nationalism are under the delusion that because of them being in this group, they will be absolved because of what was been promised to them. And it's
Right.
interesting because these people also gravitate toward, we know the acronym, we know the letters. I don't speak it because I don't believe in feeding an attention seeking monster, but we all know what it is. And the whole idea of freedom appeals to them because they feel they are free and invincible against any kind of accountability whatsoever. So they're drawn to these things and these ideas when really it's a facade.
Yeah.
I
Well, and I,
am not wanting to see harm done to folks. I don't want them sitting at my table. But
yeah,
my ultimate vision is for us to have justice, a
yeah,
reckoning, reparations, and recalibration.
yeah,
That's what I want to see. And I truly feel that in order for us to heal, we really need to prioritize reparations when that happens.
yeah.
Because if we are to build a better world, we need to pay respect to the people that were harmed the most.
And that built it for us.
And they should be generationally compensated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And more on a one-on-one level, I just want to ask these people who think they're not free, what can you not do that you want to do?
right.
What do you want to do that you are not able to do? Tell me.
And we know the answer is going to be something horrible.
Or something that takes a lot of money
Yeah.
that they will never have. Well, who do you think is keeping you from doing that?
That part.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no idea that the boots that they're licking are the very boots that are stomping on them and keeping them held down.
He said it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
He said it out loud. I like Republicans because they're dumb.
Yep. And they
And
gobbled it up.
they gobbled it up. They either didn't hear it or think it's made up. And that's the problem. That's another problem with AI now.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that everything real is also AI. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
Or that it's one of the most
Yeah,
ridiculous phrases ever uttered that it's fake news.
yeah.
Or what was the other one? Alternative fact?
Alternative fact.
Alternative fact? That phrase
Yeah,
can eat my
yeah.
entire ass.
That was Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, gosh. I love seeing people like getting her on interviews or getting photo ops with her and then completely being like, hey, smile, look at the camera, repeat after me, I destroyed the country.
Mhm.
The loops they
Mhm.
had to go through to tell that woman to her face. And the best part is, it worked. She left with her tail between her legs.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Yeah. Even Tucker Carlson is trying to redeem himself now.
I love when we were on Threads and like reposting about that. We are not redeeming Tucker
No,
Carlson.
it's not gonna happen.
It's just
That's not gonna happen.
not happening, especially not during Pride Month, honey. I don't think so. Not during Men's Mental Health Month. No, during
No.
Men's Mental Health Month, ideally he will be getting the help that he should have
Yeah.
access to.
Yeah. Yeah.
As should all men seeking mental health support. They should.
Mhm.
Bless
Mhm.
them. Blessed are the men that seek mental health. And may they find their inner bear. All right, cool. I've got another one that I love to ask. This question can be about people in general or a specific person. Whatever comes to mind for you, what is your favorite thing about people?
I love to find the interesting little thing that every single person has.
Yeah.
It's things like, well, yeah, I make flowers out of pipe cleaners.
Yeah.
And I've got them all over my house. Or, I tutor kids who don't speak English in the afternoons, or,
Yeah.
just everybody, even people you don't agree with on big things, have little
Yeah.
things that they
Mm-hmm.
do that are just interesting and that they will talk about for hours if you get them started.
Yeah.
And I just like to hear those stories.
I love that. I've got to ask a selfish question.
Okay.
What's that thing for me?
For you,
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
it's your aviation background. Because
Right on.
nobody knowing you now would guess
Yeah.
that.
You're absolutely right. And
Yeah.
it's pretty extensive too.
And it's very extensive and it's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And I could sit and talk to you about hours for that with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I forget about that sometimes. I've got like so much other stuff going on, but yeah, that was a seminal part of my life. The aviation
Yeah.
and the aerospace stuff and the
Mhm.
astronautical research and all of that. So,
Yeah.
well, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Couple more. What is the best advice you've ever heard? Whether it's something that you have received, that you've given, um, best advice you've ever heard.
I I had a joke with a friend.
Hmm.
The best advice we ever heard was duck.
Oh, that's great.
Oh gosh. I think the best advice I ever got was from my dad, who basically, in not so many words, said, "Don't worry about what other people think of you." And it took me a while to get there. That comes with age. Um, but yeah, with every new decade, I'm like, oh yes, I care even less now about
Right.
what people think about me. But yeah, I think nobody is not hardly anybody is actually thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves and how you
100%.
perceive them, just like you are thinking about yourself and how they're perceiving you. They're not thinking about you.
Right.
Hardly anybody out there is thinking about you.
Yeah.
So don't worry about what they're thinking because it's not about you.
Yeah, they are just as self-involved as
Yeah,
the rest of us.
yeah, yeah,
And for folks that we do get there with age, and the more we age, we just run out of fucks to give.
yeah,
Our give a damn will never be repaired.
yeah,
But something that I find helps when building that resiliency is by reminding ourselves every day, sometimes multiple times a day, who we are.
yeah.
So that way we're not defined by these external forces. When you
Yes.
know who you are, you're more resilient and you resist more of what other people are trying to tell you about yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, we're affected by other people's opinions naturally,
Sure.
but it doesn't define who we are.
No.
It doesn't change anything.
No.
And especially now in this era, especially calling back to our conversation about the internet, people on the internet, they don't know anything about us. Google knows more about you than some stranger on threads.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. All right, friend, are you ready for the final question?
Lay it on me.
All right. Any area of your life, in just as a whole, personal, family, career, whatever, what does success mean to you?
Uh, I think success for me, and it took me a long time to find this, and I didn't really get there until I got to academia, is being able to help other people achieve their goals. I think I did that for almost 20 years,
Right.
and that has made me feel more successful about than anything else I've really done. Yeah. Having some of those kids come back when they were in graduate programs or whatever and saying,
Yeah.
I realized it at the time, but I just want to tell you again how much help you were to
Yeah.
me and all this, yeah, yeah. That was probably, yeah, helping other people achieve their goals and make themselves better. That's success for me.
Thank you for that. It felt nice to hear that. This whole idea of like self-made, it's a lie. We don't
No,
get anywhere
no, we
without the
don't.
help
No.
of others, whether it's established systems or inventions, technology, the way that we connect
Mhm.
to people. There's no such thing as self-made. I
No.
love when these just gross, influencers talk about like how to get rich and it's like drop shipping.
Yeah.
You're not self-made, you basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were talking about the look maxing guy.
Oh my God.
Talk about the ultimate grift, my gosh.
He's a disaster.
Yeah.
I just I just found out about him recently.
Oh
I'm like,
gosh.
people like this exist? What is his issue? I just, honey, who who broke your heart and made you this way?
Like,
It's just sad.
just pretty privilege. I love that scene in the Barbie movie where she's sitting at the bench and she's talking to a woman who is wizened and of
Mm-hmm.
mature age, and she tells her she's beautiful. And what does that woman tell her?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, if Margot Robbie told me that I was beautiful, I think my brain would
I,
like short circuit.
I might just die on the spot. It's
I
been a
love
good life,
I
Funk.
love the narration where it's like, look, we understand the point of Margot Robbie having this existential crisis about beauty, but just stick with us.
Yeah.
I love that movie because it conveyed a message without taking itself too seriously, which also is how it was able to successfully convey the
Yes.
message. And of
Yeah.
course, it has its problems, but you can't communicate a message en masse without being able to appeal to as many
Right.
people as
Yeah.
possible. And some people appeal to problematic things, and you know what? That's okay. It is a
Yeah.
beautiful movie, and it has one of my favorite human beings, one of the only non-toxic people in Hollywood, Mr. John Cena, who I
Mm-hmm.
stan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love
Just a
him. Yeah.
gem of a human.
He's so
Oh,
fun.
he's up there with Betty White and
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves and Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser. Just John
Yeah.
Cena's the man.
Yeah.
And Dave Batista.
Yeah.
Stone
Oh,
Cold.
Dave Batista. I love Dave Batista
Just
with his
good
dogs.
men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
so good. I was shocked to learn that Stone Cold is a really cool dude.
Yeah. That is surprising, but that's great.
It
That's great.
is.
Yeah.
And just a great way to expose the kind of people that gravitate toward him to ideas that may be a little bit different from what they're thinking. Stone
Right.
Cold is an algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
awesome. Sweet. Well, I know you and I could keep going, but
Yeah.
my bandwidth for editing is limited. So we will continue our private conversations, but we'll go ahead and plan to wrap up here. In addition to some of the resources I'll share in my show notes from your website, your author pages, and so forth, is there anything else that you would like me to share either here right now in this discussion or after when I go ahead and publish the notes?
No, I mean, the website has everything that anybody could
Awesome.
possibly need to find me, find my books. So, yeah, that's plenty.
Here for
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
When is the next book to, or I should say, when's the next book coming out? Do you have a publication date yet?
I don't have an exact date yet. It's going to my editor by the weekend.
Nice.
So, possibly mid-July.
Nice. Is this the one that you just finished, or is there
Yes.
some? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, these books are catching up on your toes
Well, this one's
because you had a
late.
backlog for a while.
Yeah, this one's yeah, I'm not backlogged now. This one's
Yeah.
late because I had a couple of times that I had a couple of weeks of just non-productivity. And part of that, at least one of those times, was just current events catching up with me.
Yeah.
But I've had those before, and you just have to outweigh them.
Yeah.
Because they do go away eventually. But yeah, so this one, I had about 4 weeks total of that, and this one's a month late. So makes
It'd
sense.
be like that sometimes. But you
Yeah.
have just been churning them out over the past couple years. I mean, you've been consistent with it since 2012, but the past couple years, you are just rocking them out.
What I wanted to do once I retired and had more time
Yeah.
was put out one every 3 months.
Yeah.
And I was able to hold to that until now. But I'm not worried. I'm not stressed about it. And that's the beauty of self-publishing is I'm not on any schedules.
Right.
There are self-published authors who put schedules on themselves, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing
Right.
this to yourself? Just tell everybody it's going to be a month later than it is, and then
Yeah.
when you're early, they'll be delighted. It's like the airlines.
Right.
Tell you you're going to
Love
get
that.
there at 1:30. They actually get there at 1:15. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
whoa, they're great.
Yeah.
When they knew it was going to be 1:15 all along.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the work that you do. It's clear in your writing that this is something that you enjoy doing.
Oh, very much. Yes.
We need to get out of this idea that work is something that costs a portion of our soul, when in
Yeah.
truth, creativity is a celebration. It's like a spiritual experience. You know, to
Mhm.
your point about how Jamie came to you and how this is something that you knew had to come into the fold, that's something that's like, I don't even know if there's a word for it.
Yeah, I don't know what that word would be, but I know a lot of writers who say, I write because I can't not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Musicians will
Same thing.
share a
Yes.
very similar thing too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I get it. That's my why. Because I
Mhm.
want to, and because
Mhm.
this is exactly where I need to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for being part of
Oh,
this journey. And thank you for being in my life. My life is better because you are in it, Meg.
well, thank you. Back at you, as
I will
Jamie
take
would
that.
say.
I will take that. And I will just soak in that beautiful ray of light and sunshine. All right, Meg. Well, we will talk soon. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for being with us today. We
Thank you.
will talk again very soon, as we
All
always
right.
do.
Yes.
And in the meantime, stay cool, stay dry, and have a great rest of your week.
All righty.
All right, friend. We'll talk soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for being here. New episodes go live every Monday and Thursday. Subscribe, share, and follow Smashing Success Stories on Threads, Instagram, and YouTube. Bonus content and exclusives are available to patrons. Check out patreon.com/Smashing Success Stories for membership tiers and details. And always remember, whoever you are, wherever you are, just know that you are loved and that you are important. We are in this together. Till next time.